Here it is, the new Ace Pro 2. I'm recording this video actually on my previous action camera. Now this is not your standard get in deep tech video, it's more about the practical uses of it because I've actually been using this for almost a month now. Insta360 sent it to me to test and you can find a really detailed review on motor.it, so go and have a look at that. But I wanted to show this camera and talk about the features that I found most useful for me whilst riding. Here it's got 8K, so it does shoot in 8K. I've been trying it in 8K. I wouldn't say it's necessary to use all the time, but it's a really good feature to know if you need to crop in, if you've got a camera static, or you just really want high quality detail. Insta do say that it's better to use 8K when you're not moving too much. I'm not quite sure why, because I have tried it moving and I haven't noticed any degradation in the image quality. It's a few killer features of this camera that I want to talk about that for me absolutely stand out. A new sensor, it's 8K and it's 1 1/3 of an inch, so not quite an inch but just under. Got a double AI chip on it, so that means that it processes the images in camera a lot better, and you'll see when I switch to the Ace Pro, and that's pretty fast to start up. Let's put it in de-warp mode. So this is the de-warp mode, 4K 60 frames a second. It's set in voice enhancement, so I'm using the on-camera mic from the other camera that I was using previously and now on this one, so you can hear how good the sound is, and that's one of the key killer features of this camera. The sound is pretty epic, and I think a lot of that's down to the processing which this double chip enables in cameras. Even with the wind noise you can't really hear it, and I'll put an example of that now. It has a superb quality in the pure video at night, so if you look at these scenes I'm filming at night, you can see there's very little jitter on the vibration. I'm just walking around the city and you can see here it's pretty impressive. I think the main feature for that is obviously in the low light in the woods. Now I haven't really been riding in low light in the woods much, but I've done a bit, and I've noticed in high contrast situations it's very impressive. It's got active HDR up to 4K and 60 frames a second, which is pretty good, and the stabilization options on it are also impressive. Now the other thing it has, which I really like, and you can see here, is the flip up screen. That is super useful. So when you want to work with the camera, you can see, you can frame yourself much easier than I've been able to do with any other camera that I've ever used. I really like that flip up screen. It's got a new wind cover on it, so you can see this can be removed. I'll put a little clip of that being removed, and you've also got the normal cover which you can also use with water, but I've just basically kept the anti-wind cover on the whole time like I do with my previous camera, and it works fantastically. Important feature is the wide angle point of view, so let me just switch to that in the camera. Super wide angle, so you can sort of see here how wide that is. That's brilliant for recording on the bike, I have to say. Motorbike or bicycle, off-road, on-road, it's fantastic. It captures everything. It's a little marginally wider than the hyperview on the GoPro. So I found that unless you're on really rough terrain, you only need the stabilization mode in standard. You don't need to use it in the super high things, because the stabilization of this camera is absolutely amazing. Pretty robust and impermeable down to about 12 meters, so that's pretty good. 12 meters of resisting water. With the software it does automatic editing, and it's also got another feature called clarity zoom, which the other camera didn't have. Okay, clarity zoom, very simple. You just simply tap on the screen and it zooms in, but it maintains the resolution. If you're in 4K mode, you double tap, it zooms into 4K. Absolutely fantastic, works really well. This is the AI engine to kind of keep that image sharp and clear. That's one of the big uses of the 8K sensor. So the 8K sensor goes up to 30 frames a second, and you'll see in this clip here, so you can see the kind of quality that's available with this. I've been shooting it into the light, out of the light, the darks, the lights, everything is really clear on it. There's very low noise in the dark areas, and the dynamic range is top notch. I'm very, very impressed with the dynamic range on this camera. Switch back to de-warp and I'm on the Ace Pro 2. Now I'm using the voice enhancement on the microphone. You should be able to hear how good quality this is. This sound quality is one of the killer features of this camera. You can hear people a long way away very clearly.
Si chiama sempre Insta360.
Sì, anche la macchina si chiama Insta360.
E quel modello lì fatto lungo così?
Sì, sì.
Quello è
The
versione
software
4.
post-edit, you can actually tune it as well. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, the sound of this camera. There is nothing better than this on the market that I've used that's on camera, apart from, say, switching to onboard or on-person mics, and these are the go-tos. Now, this is the voice with the go-to mics. As you can hear, it's pretty good, but if you compare this to the previous one, it's outstanding, really. If you compare the two together, if you listen in this next clip I'm about to play, you can hear I'm on a motorbike with a helmet at 65 kilometers an hour, and there was a lot of wind, and you can still hear me talk.
Interessante da sapere se li puoi sentire la mia voce com'è. Poi stiamo andando a 60.
Nothing beats it from what I've used so far. If you haven't got the on-person mic, this camera is outstanding out of the box. Right, the camera costs €449 and 99 cents with a basic kit which includes one battery and all the little bits for mounting it on the helmets, etc. It also comes with the mic cover, the windproof mic cover. You can also get a 2-battery version, which I was sent, which is $469, and that obviously helps. And let's talk about this battery life, very important thing with these action cameras. Battery life is really good. I found myself, considering using the screen and all the features that are going on, and I put it in maximum bitrate mode. This camera battery lasts pretty much all day with zero stress on one battery if I'm just shooting on and off for the little bits that I need. If I'm shooting a bit longer, goes in at about an hour and a half, which is pretty good and slightly better than my previous camera that I've been using. I've had no overheating issues, no bug issues. It's been really stable. I've been using the firmware pre-launch, and I've also been using the launch firmware, which everybody else will get. With all action cameras, I would say one thing to check when you're filming is make sure that if you're changing environments from cold to hot, hot to cold, make sure to take those lens covers off. And this does have a removable lens cover, so I can do that and let the camera breathe a second, because as it heats up, I've noticed condensation can appear in the lenses, but that's something true of all cameras. But it's an easy fix. You just take the lens cover off, clean it a bit, make sure it has a few seconds to let any of the moisture that could be inside from the environmental change, and then you can put that lens cover back on. And talking about lens covers, it's a Leica lens. The field of view is absolutely fantastic. I like all the options you can scroll through. The engine of the camera, this is something really important about, you can scroll along backwards and forwards with the camera, gloves on with not. It's really fast and really positive. And I get to another killer moment, and that is the taptic feedback. This camera has a little vibration motor in it, and when you press the button go, you can feel that through your helmets. And that's amazing, because rather than asking everyone, is it recording, you can feel it. I've got a helmet here from our sponsor for the channel, which is Leica. So make sure you go and check out their gear, especially as winter's coming. So this is the Leica helmet, the Enduro 4 that I've been using for a while, and I've got the mount on it. Now, this is one of the things it comes with, this little mount here. It uses standard action camera mounts, got this quick release method of attaching the camera, which I really like, and it clicks on and off really easily. And I found myself mounting the camera and demounting it really easily for all kinds of operations. It does make the camera a little bit taller, so if you have got a previous setup, you might need to just adjust it a little bit. The standard option is 4K 60 frames a second, which I'm recording in right now. You've got the pure video option, which is a specialist option meant for low light conditions. It uses the AI engines on the chips. Slow motion is pretty good. You can go up to 1080p, 240 frames a second. Obviously 120 frames a second 4K is amazing quality, and that's what I tended to use and play with. Pre-registration, so you can like press the button and it will record the 60 seconds or however many seconds you've predefined. It's got time lapse, it's got time shift, dash cam mode, which is great if you're a motorcyclist. It's got star lapse mode, the photo mode, and the photo quality of this camera is very good, and it comes out in DNG mode. This is the iLog mode without any color applied. As you can see, it's gray. Basically, it's flattened all the colors out, but it allows lots of extra adjustment inside the software. And I'm now going to put that filter on now. So now you've got the filter on it. It's a Leica filter. There are Leica modes available on the camera as well, which give a color rendition, which is very, very faithful to the Leica standard. This is the actual Leica vivid mode. This is quite impressive colors. I have to say, I really like the renditioning of this. This is the Leica natural mode. As you can see, a little bit less on the saturation, but absolutely fantastic, great renditions. The cool thing about this camera, and if I wave my hand, you can see here, this is a dark area on the screen. And you can see I've got the sun over there, I've got the dark there. The dynamic range is absolutely fantastic. There's no noise. And if I use the same camera, so let's just switch to my older camera for comparison, you can see, so here we go, here's my older camera for comparison in the same position. You can see the color rendition is not the same. You know, it's good, like it's been absolutely fine up to now and I had no trouble with it, but now I know that this exists, I think I'm going to stick to recording most of my videos with this. And in fact, a lot of the videos that you've seen on the channel and also on Motor.it have already been filmed with this camera. But this thing is fantastic. The app software on the computer is brilliant. On the phone, a lot of it depends on the phone. I've got a pretty poor quality phone, but the app does work. You can set up the camera to do a preview mode and change the settings, etc. You can update the camera. You can do lots of things with that onboard app on the phone. Anyone wants to know anything more, go and visit the Insta360 website where you'll get more information about this. I'm sure there's going to be lots of other tests up there. Have a look at the video now that's going to follow. I've put a few clips together that I've been filming and shooting with on board. You can see the quality of the camera, you can see the quality of the movement. Definitely the lead camera on the market at the moment. It's going to give the competition a big run for its money. It's definitely a step up compared to previous generations of action camera on the market.
And ma quanto lisce è, wow!
Guarda questo è tutto 8K,
Ragazzi, questo è il famoso! Oh, che è molto spettacolare. Li puoi fare anche se non... Bottoms out the foot.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.